So I stumbled upon the work about 8 months back, and earlier I've been exposed, reading a lot about these different spiritual traditions, and then even Eckhart Tolle and things like that. Um, However, when doing the work, I listen to a lot of other people doing the work, read about it. Theoretically, I get it that it's really important, but I have a lot of resistance when I'm doing the work.
Hmm.
When I want to sit down and something wants me to get up and not do something else, clean the house, or do the dishes or something like that. Something trivial becomes really important, um, and I'm unable to get into a routine to do this work. Have you
Yeah.
seen this before with other folks? And if yes, what advice do you have?
Yeah, I think to some degree it happens with all of us. There's a natural resistance in all of us to look what's really going on, or to see, to take responsibility for our own inner experience. We just naturally want to blame it on something else or someone else, or we want to just avoid looking at it, or we want to hold on to what what we're getting for not looking at it. Sometimes there's kind of a payoff for not uh, looking at what's going on. So it takes a certain amount of courage. In fact, I've heard Byron Katie herself say, "You think it takes courage to go to a war and fight on the front lines of the battlefield? Do you think that takes courage? Come and do this work. It takes even more courage to do that." And I mean, we say that, and it is true, but what I love about the work is that it's very gentle. It's not. It goes how fast you want to go. You're in control of it, and you can just dip your toe in the water and be like, "Oh wow, that's cool," right? And that's enough for a week or a month. um, or you can put more of yourself in. You can dive in deeper. You can go where you like. And the idea is, it's the whole process is set up for listening to ourselves. So, so even in doing the work, I can be listening to myself and just seeing how far is feeling right. And there's no need to push myself ahead of my evolution. There's no need to push past my resistance. My resistance is there for a reason. My resistance is intelligent too. And so if I listen to my resistance and and have a conversation with it, it may start to um, be a two-way conversation where I'm listening to it, I'm taking its concerns seriously, and it's listening to me, and it might be open to trying a little bit as well. And so this kind of openness or easiness in the approach to it, I find to be very, very helpful. And you know, what we tend to do as human beings is, once we see something that we think is good, then we try to push it to try to get some results and make it go faster, and that's when resistance comes even more. So those are just a few thoughts in terms of resistance. I think it does happen to all of us. I know, even having done the work for years, there will be certain subjects or certain topic that I keep avoiding looking at, right? I don't quite want to look at that one. It's a tough one, or it's one I'm scared of, or I'm afraid, uh, I don't know, I'm afraid something won't turn out well if I look there. So that happens, and so I just am patient. Okay, not that one right now, not that one. And um, so one way to do it is just work on some small things, work on some minor day-to-day kind of things. You will be surprised how much uh, can be gained from doing the work on these little, seemingly tiny things that end up showing you a lot of surprises and a lot of interesting uh, insights. And then that can start to give you confidence as you learn how to swim in the shallow waters. You can go into deeper waters as you feel comfortable, but never ahead of your ability. I would never push someone to swim in the deep water if they don't feel comfortable swimming. I would say, no, let's play around in the shallow waters as long as you want, until you're not feeling fearful, until you're feeling comfortable, until you're feeling skilled. So yeah, that's for me what helps with this idea of resistance. Resistance is not bad. It's just my enthusiasm to go faster, that has to be questioned sometimes. But here's another thing you can also do is write down the resistance. Like, what, I don't want to do this. Okay, write it down. I don't want to do this. And question it. You can just do the work on the resistance itself. And you can often find some very interesting insights that way. And sometimes some of that resistance will change and become less as that's done. But I don't even do it to get rid of the resistance. I just do it because it's there and because it's stressful. And when I'm doing the work simply in response to what shows up, that's when I get the most out of it. When I'm doing the work to try to get somewhere, or try to improve myself, or try to have some experience, or gain some spiritual gain, then that little bit of push is what actually gets in the way of the, the innocent development, um, the innocent opening. I like to say these inner parts are sensitive. They're sensitive. And on that level, if you push, it closes up like a lotus flower, just closes right up. So I have to be very gentle and make sure, number one, that my heart understands this is a safe thing. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to try to manipulate you with the work. I'm going to listen to you. And then after a while, it starts to feel safe. The heart starts to feel like, okay, I can trust you more. So I will start to share my vulnerable parts more and allow this work to be done on that, because I know that I'm not going to be abused by it. I'm going to be held, and I'm going to be given the chance. Like I like to say, the stressful part inside of me gets to do the work, and it gets to answer whether it's true or not, or how it reacts and who it would be without the thought. It's like allowing that stressed part, the emotional part, to do the work, and not being forced from above intellectually or by any kind of coercion like that. So anyway, those, I'm just rambling here, but these are a few of the thoughts that come to mind when you say resistance in doing the work. And if you like, if there's a particular resistance that comes up, or you can think of a situation when you felt resistance and you want to do the work, I can facilitate you even now to do the work on the resistance if you wanted to play with that. That's just another option.
Mhm. I've not done the work on the resistance. Um, how would I go about doing it?
So think of a time when you felt some resistance. You maybe wanted to do the work, but you felt the resistance. Can you find a specific time that you tried?
Couple of days back.
Okay, okay. So um, what was the resistance? What were the thoughts connected to that feeling of resistance for you at that time?
I had a long day, I should rest.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So literally, to do this work, you don't have to think further. You just take the thought as it comes and go into the questioning. So I had a long day. I should rest. Is it true?
No.
Yeah. So how do you react in that moment? You're thinking about doing the work, but the thought comes up, I had a long day. I should rest. What happens?
I get a spike of happiness, or just a pleasure spike that, oh, I don't need to do this, or I get to
Yeah.
rest.
I got out of jail free, right? I got
Yes.
the pass. Yeah. Keep going. How else do you react when you think I had a long day, I should rest?
The next day I do regret that, I want to build a routine to do the work, and I did not follow through.
Right. It's interesting. There's the spike in the moment, and then there's regret next day. This is reaction. I had a long day, I should rest. How do you treat the work in that moment when you think you had a long day and you should rest?
There's some obstacle that just need to do it and get it over with, kind of.
Yeah.
So not as an opportunity to get to know myself, but rather another thing on my to-do list.
And the sooner you can check it off your to-do list, the better, right? If you can skip it altogether, even better, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I feel like I'll do it in
yeah,
my mind when I'm lying down.
yeah, exactly. And so then the work doesn't get a chance to be experienced in a carefree way, in a like with no time pressure or just in a quiet way. It has to be rushed or skipped or done in the head or something. So, right. You said it was an obstacle. It's almost like the when I think I had a long day, I should rest, the work is getting in the way of me resting. Now it's the obstacle, and I should get to the resting part and get over this doing the work idea. So, who would you be without the thought? If you came, you wanted to do the work, but you didn't have the thought, I had a long day, I should rest.
So do the work.
And how do you approach the work if you're not thinking, I had a long day, I should rest? What do you see when you look at the work?
Because there are some other obstacles that are in the way, like, and some other thoughts that this is too hard. Um, but I think those are a different form of resistances.
Yeah. So what you're seeing here is with one layer of resistance, if that layer is gone, I had a long day and I should rest. If that one isn't there, then there's another layer of resistance. It's too hard, right? So these there may be several layers of that of thoughts that would stop you from doing what you're drawn to do. And that's an interesting finding because question 4 of the work is who would I be without the thought? And sometimes people they think that without the thought, it will just be heaven, it'll just be nirvana. It will just be, I'll be free in this big capital F free. And many times it's not exactly that. It's like, who would I be without the thought? I had a long day, I should rest. I would be thinking about doing the work, and then I would think about the next obstacle. That's honest. That's truly answering this question, honest. So, okay, so what we can say, therefore, is that there's would be a little less, you would be one step closer to doing the work, but it wouldn't mean that you're doing the work. It means it would just be one less reason not to. Okay, so let's turn the thought around. You had a long day. The thought was, I had a long day, I should rest.
I should not rest.
Say it again.
I had a long day and I should not rest.
Yeah, I had a long day and I should not rest. Okay, so sounds counterintuitive, sounds strange, but can you make any sense of that? You're thinking about doing the work here. Um, how could that be as good or better than resting?
In the long term, it will help me reduce suffering, reduce my own suffering. So it's a step in that direction.
Yeah, it's a move in the direction of resting from suffering. Like there's two kinds of things that I need rest for. One is just physical. I need rest when I've worked a long day or I'm just tired physically. Then the other kind of thing I need rest for is when I'm emotionally or something stressed, like there's a more of a real stress in there that's not just from everyday wear and tear. And and the work can address some of those things in a way. I could sleep and sleep and sleep, and it would not necessarily address that need. So it's a different way of thinking about the work, right? Don't let the work make you think it has to be work. Now I have more work to do, right? It's a work in one sense, but it's also creating a kind of rest as a result. It's a special kind of work that is undoing certain things that cause tension in a way. So it's a relieving kind of work. Yeah. In my experience over years of doing it is it becomes almost like like taking a bath in a way. I still, scrub myself a little here and there, but it's overall relaxing feeling. So I had a long day. I shouldn't rest. Any other examples for you of that turnaround? Okay, I think we found a few there. So is there any other turnaround? I had a long day. I should rest.
Can't think of it.
I've got a possible one if you want to hear it.
Sure.
I had a long day. I should do the work. Similar to what we were just looking at, but
Hmm.
it's a different flavor, right? The work was something, an obstacle, but maybe that's the treat. Depending on how you look at it. So how could that be for you? I had a long day. I should do the work. All right. I would like to do the work or something in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I do the work, I do get in with the right attitude and, without trying to get something from it. I get with a lot of, end up getting a lot of epiphanies and uh, I feel really good afterwards. A lot of
Yeah.
things clears up.
Isn't that what you want rest for? So that you can feel really good afterwards.
Hmm.
So the work is a different thing than lying down and just taking it easy, which is great. It's a different way of being, but it also can have that experience of feeling great in a different way.
Hmm.
So then, see, this is appealing to the heart or to the experience level, not to the I should do the work. I need to make it a routine. I need to
Hmm.
do a good job. I need, like, that's like a coming from like the, almost a religious mindset, like I should do this and make, but, and it has its value, right? We are both heart and mind together, but this is just appealing to the heart level a little more that, yeah, I had a long day and I'd like to do the work. That sometimes refreshes me in a special way, and that's an option instead of something I have to do. And then when I think of the work, I start thinking of it as something interesting, something appealing, something that I'd like to play around with, not something that I have to do. You can take anything, even a amazing thing, something you enjoy, and then tell yourself you have to do it, and you will eventually be like, oh, I don't want to. I just want to do something else, right? You have to watch a movie every night for the rest of your life. Oh my God, I'm gonna. No. But when it's just an option, then, oh yeah, I think I would like to. That would be nice. Yeah. So, okay, there we're just playing there with some turnarounds and some ideas. Um, and then I'd love for you to do a little work on these thoughts, like I need to build a routine, like question that one. Um, it's too hard. Question that one. We could even do a short version of that right now if you want to. Um,
Sure.
we have 5 minutes. Let's see what we can do in 5 minutes. It's the work is too hard. Is that true? It's a good story. So how do you react when you believe this thought? It's too hard.
Yeah, I turn the work into some big, uh, much bigger than what it, much different thing than what it is. Um,
Yeah,
I make it very enormous and into an obstacle or an enemy.
exactly. Suddenly it's something that you have to really work hard at, and it's so difficult. And yeah. Are there any images that come to mind when you think it's too hard?
Yeah, I mean, like I see myself sitting with a pen and paper, thinking, oh, should I, tensed up, and
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like there's someone behind me just making me do it. I have to just, yeah. So who would you be without the thought? Too hard.
yeah, treat it as an exploration and listen to the stressful parts within myself, allow them to be, allow them to express themselves rather than wishing they were not there.
Sounds easier. Yeah. So turn it around. It's too hard. The work is too hard.
Work is easy.
Okay. Give me some examples to just to prove that side or to give some supporting evidence to that side.
I've had few instances when I challenged few beliefs and uh, with a with a very light mind, and it worked out quite well.
Yeah. That's your own experience, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes it just falls into place and it's easy. Yeah. And let's look at what actually is the work. What is actually doing the work as opposed to what you may think it is? Like, how is the actual work easier than what you think you're doing when you do the work, or you think you have to do when you're doing the work?
Yeah, actual work is more natural, that we allow the stressful parts to be, and the stressful way of doing the work is kind of trying to go for an outcome and trying to wish they were not there, and just try to get it over with.
Exactly. When I'm trying to get an outcome, trying to get over something, I'm in, we could say, God's business, because I cannot control when the outcome will come. I cannot control when the letting go will happen. I cannot control when it stops being stressful. I cannot control that. So I'm in God's business, and that's impossible. Like that makes it very hard. I'm trying to move something over which I have no control. That's stress and strain right there. But the work is not asking us to do that. That's the good thing. It's just saying, question it, identify the thought, write it down, question it, and ask yourself and see if anything comes up. And if nothing comes up, keep going. Just move on, or just say that's good enough for today. But it has no requirement that some breakthrough is happening. But the moment I think it should, that I should have a breakthrough, then it becomes very hard. But that's not the work. So the work is not hard, but my thinking about the work, that's hard.
Yes.
Yeah. Trying to get an outcome is hard, but the work itself, not hard. Yeah. Like sometimes Katie says, like, it's just sitting talking with friends, right? You don't have to have any outcome, just chatting, thinking, interesting, can be continued tomorrow, could be a dead end. There's no, um, there's nothing important going on. But when I see it as a project, I have to push. I have to work so hard, and I can't control it anyway. So it's frustrating. No wonder the mind resists. Like, oh, don't put me through that torture again.